We see our hero weak, we see him vulnerable, we see him frustrated, we see him reach a dead end, and he's not cool. There are moments in the film where he is ready to give up. Hey aliens, what's up? This is Rohit Rana, and I am here today to review the 2020 thriller Hit the First Case, starring Vishwak Sen and a host of other actors who did not have a lot to do in the film, but they were important to the film, of course. But it's an out and out Vishwak film. This is my first Vishwak film, and man, I have thoughts on his performance, which I will talk about. You know, one of my little favorite moments from the film, which actually happens twice, is when it's a nice little touch which I have not seen before. When this lady, no, the one they arrest and perform narcotics on and polygraph test, when they see she has a blue car and our hero asks her to fetch the keys, and then she goes in and then she's not coming out, and our hero and his friend, they are suspecting maybe she has run off, and that's what we are thinking, because, and you're like, okay, now when is Vikram going to start run and chasing this girl? But then out she comes, and then that happens again with Ibrahim. Even though we kind of expect him to come out normally, but then you also suspect maybe he comes out with a gun, maybe he shoots at our hero. That was a nice little touch, but never mind. Let's talk of the movie. How did I find the film? I'll summarize it. It's one of the, and I mean this word in all seriousness, it's one of the greatest investigative thrillers I have seen in my life, and it has one of the lamest climaxes to any investigative thriller I have seen in my life. I was literally like this, like, why did they do this to such a wonderful film? Like, did did another writer write the last 20 minutes, or did the director change? Like, what happened in the last 20 minutes? I mean, okay, first of all, okay, spoiler, okay, I'm going to give out a big spoiler. How convenient that when Ibrahim goes to this mechanic to get his scooter, our hero has accompanied him. There is no connection between Ibrahim and that eventual, the guy who did what he did. He's not the killer, but then he assists the killer. It's too convenient that our hero accompanied Ibrahim on that very day when Ibrahim had to collect his scooter from who eventually is the guy. That was lame. And then the whole story about Preeti murdered by a girl who she was in that place with, who happens to be Rohit's wife. Okay, you can still give a leeway to the film, considering this is director's vision and that is what he wants you to he wants to show you. So you can still excuse that, even though that's anticlimactic. So the film does a great job of shifting suspicion from one character to the next, which is the first job of any investigative thriller. You are doubting one person. You're at one point you're like, okay, I'm sure this guy has done it, or I'm sure this guy has not done it, because the film is focusing too much on him. So obviously this person is not the killer. The director has done it really well throughout the length of the film. But then I don't know what happened in the last 30 minutes. Yes, I did suspect there was something was up with Rohit, because either he was a bad actor or he was hiding something. So he was not very expressive. the actor who was playing him, he was not very expressive. The character Rohit was not very expressive. Sometimes he was not displaying exhibiting any shock. No, he was cool. I mean, you see our hero and he's all baffled at whatever is coming out or whatever is not coming out, and Rohit is cool, calm throughout. So I thought maybe he's a bad actor, or maybe there is something up with him. Eventually, it was the latter case. Something was up with this guy. But I did not want that personally. I was hoping that the killer or the kidnapper was one of the people we were doubting, because it's quite convenient to eventually reveal that the culprit is someone who you never actually doubted, because that culprit did not get any screen time in the film. That culprit was a very side character, and he had a motivation. So our culprit had a motivation, which is a valid motivation. I don't know, but I don't care. I honestly did not. I mean, she is from that place, Anath Ashram, and whatever happens, whatever transpires, and then she grows with that rage against this girl, and then she encounters that girl in a bar, and she recognizes her in a second, and then she hires this mechanic, because I don't know, like, how is she an expert in knowing that there is a mechanic who is so good at his job. I mean, there was a lot of leap of faith in the last 20 minutes. I will not go on and on about it, but I was disappointed with how those last 20 minutes panned out. But outside of that, Vishwak Sen impressed me immensely. He's displayed a range of emotions in the film. So one of the tropes of these investigative thrillers is what happens in climax. So we in all these films, we see our homicide detective, our hero, confused. Like, he's not able to figure out what is happening. In most films, I'm saying, I'm not about Hit. So we are as confused as our hero, and we see him or her struggling with finding who is the killer or who is the kidnapper. But then suddenly he's able to figure out everything, and then in the climax we see that he was actually not confused. He was never confused. He just showed the audience a limited range of his own feelings. He put up a face, he put on a mask that, okay, I do not know what is happening, but I am hopeful that something would crack, where everything will be revealed to me. But then that is when we reach the climax. That is not how it works. The whole time, from the start of the film, through the midway, through the interval, till the very end, our hero is constantly figuring things out in his head. That's how it happens in films. We see flashbacks when the killer is revealed. We see flashbacks. Okay, when our hero performed this action, which did not make sense at the time, he actually did it very consciously. He knew that X will be revealed, and that X was revealed to that person, to our hero, back then, and then Y was revealed to him at another point in the film, then Z was revealed to him at another point in the film, and by the time the climax reaches, he was able to put two and two together and solve the case. So he had every piece of the puzzle with him, because he was figuring everything out during the course of the film, and by the time we hit the climax, he just solved everything. That is not the case with Hit. Our hero is, whatever you see is whatever you get. Our hero is genuinely frustrated. He has there is a point in the film, actually there is a good part for a good length, for a good number of minutes, where we feel for this guy, because he's just frustrated. He has collected all the evidence. he has all these suspects. Every time he goes out, every morning he wakes up, he collects one evidence and he gets more suspects. He gathers all the suspects, and yet he's not able to understand who has done what. Where is Neha? Where is Preeti? And that is where this film separates itself from the other investigative thrillers. Which brings me now, because I have to talk about his role, Vishwak Sen's role and his performance, in order to be able to talk about the film more. This is perhaps my favorite performance by an actor in an investigative thriller, because so far of the 1,000 films I have seen of this nature, who done it or investigative thrillers, who kidnapped who or whatever happened, they have a very templated role for our main guy. If our hero is the homicide detective, or is the detective, uh, there is a very templated role for him. There are like 2 or 3 templates, and all the films have the role that is written for our hero. It's written as per one of those 2 or 3 templates, and basically it is this. This is a super smart guy who can sense trouble from a mile away, who can sense if anything is not right, if anything is off from a mile away. He enters into a room like our hero does, and as soon as he steps into the room, he turns into Sherlock Holmes, and he figures everything out, like starting from who entered this room 2 weeks ago till now, how many people have had tea in that room, how many people slept in that room. He has it all figured out, and the other people, other investigators around him, they're just shaking their head. They're like, wow, what a genius this guy is. And most of the films are like this. And in most of the films, again, a lot of films, our hero has a dark past. There is something that has happened, an event in their lives that is torturing them. The ghost of the past is constantly with them. They keep getting visions of something horrible that happened to them, and then this throughout the movie, this distracts them from the case, but in the climax, that very thing helps them crack the case. I've seen this happen so many times in so many films. Now, this film follows that template to an extent, and then throws it away, the template, all the other templates, because we see our hero weak, we see him vulnerable, we see him frustrated, we see him reach a dead end, and he's not cool when he reaches that end. And he is not trying to act cool. He's not telling his colleagues, do not worry, we have it under control, and everything will be revealed to us, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, we will solve this case. No, in this film, the hero is not hero. He's not hiding his frustration, he's not hiding his weaknesses, he's not hiding his ineptness, which is not exactly ineptness, but then the way Vishwak has portrayed a range of emotions for this person, for this role, which is otherwise a very one note role in most investigative thrillers. This one is not a one tone role. It's not like, okay, in one part he's a cool guy, and then there are ghosts of the past haunting this guy, and then we see some angry guy who drinks, who has tears in his eyes. There is so much more to the film. The case makes him rip his hair apart. He is literally crying in so many scenes, or about to cry, because he does not know what is happening. I have gathered everybody, every suspect. There are so many suspects, there is so much evidence, and I cannot make out. So many times he tells his friend Rohit, hey, I don't understand what is happening. How is this even possible? he's losing hope. He does not think he will find Neha. He does not think he will find Preeti. There are moments in the film where he is ready to give up. And and it's, again, the way those scenes are written and the way those scenes are performed by Vishwak Sen, it is so refreshing because I have not seen that in other investigative thrillers. There is an overlap between this film and other films of the same genre, but then there is a lot of new things that this film does. When you compare it with thrillers across industries, across Tollywood, Collywood, Bollywood, Hollywood, it's not like Hollywood makes superior thrillers. This is one of the best I have seen. But like I said earlier, I I lost it in the last. The movie lost me in the last 20 minutes. I was like, wait. So all in all, I wish the film was at the end was tied up more neatly. I wish the motivations were more believable for for the culprit, for the eventual killer. Still, there were some good aspects to that ending too. That letter Rohit writes for Vikram, that was nice. That kind of made you feel for that character, which is always welcome. I do not like black and white characters on most occasions, at least in investigative thrillers. If it's an action film, then that's a different aspect. Also, I did not like the other guy's how the other guy's character was written. Abhilash, I think he was like too one dimensional, too stupid, and I don't even know why Neha's case is handed to him, or I don't even know why he's a hot shot in that department because he's clearly stupid. He's clearly stupid. So what is the reason the their their boss trusts Abhilash so much? Why does he hand him the case over? Because the movie does not show him making even a single smart move. So that was surprising, which I would attribute to poor writing for that character. But yeah, all in all, amazing, amazing film. One of the greatest thrillers I have ever seen in my life. Spoiled by that ending. I I so wish they chose to take a different route with this one, but those are my feelings. I would still rate it 8 out of 10. Again, I would have loved to rate it 10 out of 10. It was turning out to be that film. There was nothing that lacked for me in this film. I was surprised, I was happy, I was mystified, but the last 20 minutes killed it for me. Not in a good way. So that those are my thoughts. I'll see you very soon with another video with more reviews. I also finished Game Over, Tapsi Pannu's Game Over last night, and I will post that review too. And I'll watch all the other movies that you have recommended me. I was about to watch AWE, but it's available without subtitles. So I want to watch all these films in the original language. I watched this film hit in Telugu, but there had to be subtitles, right? I don't know why Hotstar has the film in original language, but there are no subtitles. So, but I'll find four more films that you have recommended, and I'll watch them in their original language. That is the first thing I look for in a film, whether it's available on OTT in its original language. So yeah, that's all I have for now. Keep rocking.